The film Midsommar is a folk horror film written and directed by Ari Aster. Sorry if I said your name wrong. If you are like me, you watched his previous work, Hereditary, a film that I very highly recommend that you go into blind. Do not look anything up for Hereditary, though for Midsommar I feel as though I should warn you a bit. As for Midsommar, I went in having only seen the trailer, and I can say with confidence that the trailer does not spoil any of the movie. So if you do watch the trailer, just know that you won't get too much of the movie, you'll get a general idea. Keep in mind that the movie has a lot of build-up, and I mean a lot. This movie is 2.5 hours long, longer than Hereditary. So if you thought Hereditary was a really, really big build-up, get ready, because it's going to be a lot longer. So what is the setup, you might be asking? Well, we have our main character named Danny, who goes through a traumatic experience, and all the while her boyfriend Christian is thinking about breaking up with her. Later, it is revealed that Christian is going to be going away on a trip to Sweden with some friends. Pele, being the friend who is originally from Sweden, plans to show him his ancestral commune, where a midsummer festival will be taking place. Danny ends up joining the boys, and from there we see how the group of outsiders interact with the commune. I will say this movie has excellent cinematography. Great shots, they're framed incredibly, the transitions are smooth, the characters do end up taking some psychedelics, and there's some very creative imagery, some very interesting imagery that come from this. I'll get more into that later. The dialogue is very natural and believable. Probably the best part of this movie, really, is the dialogue. It's just so solid. The music is very well done, but the best part of the film is when there's silence. And believe me, there is silence. Your theater will be in silence. The acting is pretty good. Some of the side characters weren't that great, but they aren't the main focus, so they're not going to get in the way. Overall, this is a really solid film that is a bit slower paced, but if you enjoyed Hereditary, I'd very much say that you would enjoy this. And a last little bit of warning, if you are sensitive to gore or sexual acts, this film is not for you. I will now be going into spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, click off of here. Get out of here. What are you doing? Now that we're in spoilers, let me tell you this story lacks originality. Immediately, it is apparent that the group of outsiders brought into the commune will either join the commune or die. And surprise, surprise, all but one die. Danny ends up becoming the May Queen, having won a dance competition. But let's go ahead and get back to the beginning. So Danny's sister is bipolar, and she commits a murder-suicide, taking Danny's parents with her. And let me tell you, this is a very strong and emotional opening that sets the tone of this movie perfectly. From there, there's just constant build-up. There's build-up of the crew commuting and participating in the festival. It is revealed by Pele that at the commune, they believe in a life cycle that ends at 72. When the characters ask, what happens when you hit 72? Pele makes a gesture of death, and the crew laughs, and I immediately realize, oh, we're about to see some elders die, aren't we? And lo and behold, the next scene shows two elderly people having what seems to be their last meal. After the meal, they're carried up to this cliff, and you can guess the rest. This was the moment where the film went silent. Remember when I talked about those moments where the film just doesn't have any music? This is one of them. And I can tell you, the theater was just as silent. We watch as an elderly woman jumps off the cliff. But it doesn't end there, because next is the elderly man. And he jumps next. But unfortunately, the impact does not kill him. It was made apparent by the fact that before either elder jumped, there was a commune member holding a large wooden mallet, meaning that if the jump didn't finish him, that commune members will. And so, the elderly man is finished off by commune members taking turns hitting his skull with this mallet. My God, the gore in this film is amazing. I'll tell you. This was the first sign for me that this is going to end in a gore fest. It is going to be amazing. But more on that later. After this, the other outsiders, named Simon and Connie, who the group meets due to Pele's brother bringing them, mysteriously disappear, right? And we all know what it is, but the characters are just like, where did they end up? And it's revealed that they took them to the train station. I'm using heavy quotes in case you can't tell. Christian's friends start disappearing, and eventually only Danny and Christian are the only ones left. Christian is then drugged and forced into a mating ritual with one of the commune members who earlier in the film took interest in him. all while Danny is settling into her role as a May Queen. She stumbles upon Christian's ritual and is horrified. It is now the conclusion of the festival, where 9 sacrifices must be offered, so the remainings of the outsiders and a few volunteers from the commune are put into this yellow temple that was shown earlier in the film. Speaking of being shown earlier, there was a bear in a cage that one friend pointed out and showed later on in some artwork that the bear would be set on fire. So what does this all mean? It means Christian is stuffed into a disemboweled bear and set on fire with the other sacrifices, all while Danny and the commune members celebrate the end of the festival. What a film. So with all that said, I very much enjoyed this film. While the pacing was slow, the payoff may have not been as strong. It definitely had solid writing and directing. Characters were consistent, and there are plenty of unsettling imagery. Midsommar is Rambling Brother approved. It is good. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Check the links in the description and subscribe for future rambles.